Guys, welcome back. So we thought we'd do a little topic today that was a little bit more conversational than actually physically testing product or even talking to the heads or shafts that we have here in the store. And I think since we've been doing the live Q&As, since we've been doing, obviously, you guys leave us your comments and we're very mindful of the questions you guys ask us, we thought we would do a little video today on how you guys can get the most out of your own specific fitting experience.
Absolutely. Tons of questions are always about, I'm going to get fit at this particular facility. What should I be doing? What should I be asking? Because people are rightfully concerned about going to a session and not getting what they're looking for, not leaving with something that
walking
helps.
away feeling, that anxiety about, maybe I should have asked this, maybe I should have done. Those sorts of feelings, they're not. You don't need to have those sorts of feelings. There's just things you can do that will make sure that doesn't happen when you pay your hard-earned money for your fit, and then making sure you get the most out of it.
And that's the thing. It's like any industry. It's not 100% standardized. So depending on where you go, your experience may vary. But if you have the knowledge going into it, you can sort of dictate the way the fitting goes. Like you're going to be able to sort of you're going to be able to make your fitting better, even if it's not the greatest fitting studio on earth. If you have the right knowledge and the right questions, you're going to enable that fitter to do a better job.
Exactly, and that will make sure that you guys get the value out of the experience. So I think that's the key. As our community has grown, the reality is 99.9% will never walk through the door of TXG.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. That's just the nature of the platform that YouTube provides, and we look at the geography of where our viewers are from, and California is number 1.
I know.
Texas is 2. Florida's 3. So it's not feasible for most of the people who are watching our channel to jump on a plane and come and see us. It thankfully has been feasible for some, and we absolutely love that that's become the case. But the reality is we think we can provide you guys enough value on the platform that if it's not us that you see and you go somewhere else, you guys are armed with the right kind of questions and kind of mental preparation and physical preparation to get the most out of it.
So a little backstory on kind of how this channel started was we had a conversation about, I guess, the best way to represent your brand and the best way to market TXG, this fitting studio, for a potential client. And we were talking about how, you want to show someone what the fitting process is like here. I want someone to know how their fit's going to go and what to expect for their money. And the best way to do that would be literally to film a session.
Exactly.
So we kind of play around with filming actual sessions, and that's really where the whole concept for that came from.
And the kind of step prior to that was actually, this was all based on you building our website.
Yes.
So we met Matt, and we loved the work that he does in production and his skill set there. So we decided to hire Matt to basically rebuild our TXG website. And the idea being that on the website we wouldn't just have text about what a club fitting session was about. We would have sample videos as to what a club fitting session was about, so you guys could not just read about it and don't really kind of have any emotion attached to it. You guys could actually physically see us in action doing our thing, and decide whether that's what you wanted or whether it's not.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it was great. We actually had one of our YouTube viewers come up, actually fly up from Florida. Peter Rubelman, big shout out to Pete. He flew up from Florida specifically because he, at 86 years old, watched our YouTube channel and felt like there was so much integrity with how we do our fittings that he would jump on a plane, spend his hard-earned cash, and come and see us. What a compliment that is.
I think that might have been one of the most humbling experiences of my life, meeting someone like that said they watched. I mean, first of all, at that age, to be interested in YouTube, it's not all that common. That generationally, YouTube is a young person's thing. It's for him to have found it and enjoyed it and said, I'm going to come see you and do a fit. It's amazing.
We kind of, Matt and I had a chat earlier on about how much of a head spinner that was for us, that maybe our understanding of who really is watching this YouTube channel is a little bit skewed, in that it's not just the younger crowd. I mean, I think the people who have actually physically came to see us, it's a 50 plus. Jumped on a plane and came. It's probably, there's more 50 plus of age group than younger.
Right.
So this platform is great. So for that type of thing. So we're hugely thankful for the community that we have, and the viewers. So let's talk a little bit about the basics to get you started, right? So when you come for a fit, the things that you can do. So let's start with the basics, such as wear comfortable clothes.
Yeah, so you guys get phone calls all the time asking, what should I wear when you come? Yeah. So you want to simulate your playing characteristics as much as you can. Yep. Wear golf clothes, wear golf shoes, wear a golf glove.
Nothing restrictive, nothing that's going to you're going to be slightly uncomfortable pulling it yourself. Nothing like that. Shoes, glove. I mean, shoes are such an interesting point. You know, the traction that you can get from wearing golf shoes versus not.
Yeah.
You know, and what that can lead to. It can lead to more club head speed. I'll go back probably somewhat, maybe 8-10 years ago. Padraig Harrington famously said he picked up 30 yards from wearing a different pair of shoes.
Did he say
because it had a significantly wider platform to the shoe that he could swing so much more faster in balance that he found his club head speed went up that much.
Wow.
So that was. I remember at the time going, geez, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, going back to Hogan. Hogan had an extra stud installed at the front of his right shoe because he found that gave him more traction and more stability when he would swing. So being conscious of these details, well, again, just the small, minute details that add a little bit more value to your fit.
Well, it's no different than saying, like, you should practice the way that you play golf.
That's right.
If you're going to go to the range, do it the way you play golf. And if you're going to get fit for golf clubs and spend a bunch of money, you should definitely make sure you're simulating the same experience.
So again, prior to the fit, another thing that we often see is that a player will get fatigued a little bit before they should.
Yeah.
So your preparation before you go in there in terms of eating.
Yeah. Basic stuff like that.
Making sure you've had you're hydrated and you've had something to eat. Not certainly right before you come in. You don't want to be having a big breakfast or a big lunch right before you've come in, but have some snacks, have some water with you, an energy drink perhaps that will keep you sustained, some electrolytes that will keep you going throughout the session. That will help you maintain your energy throughout the session.
I do it every single time we film, and I'm doing the testing.
So
if I'm making
preparation,
I have 100 swings I'm going to make. I have a little bit of some kind of energy drink or granola bars because you get tired. I mean, you're definitely going to get tired, and then your performance. I'm sure you see the club head speed tapers off.
It definitely does. It definitely does. The strike patterns, the strike quality, all that sort of stuff can suffer if you start to get a little lethargic. If you feel your energy dips down a little bit, you're then not doing yourself justice and the fit justice and getting the most value out of it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so those are important pre-fitting sort of ideals that you'd prepare on.
Yep.
Let's talk a little bit about how you prepare your golf game for coming in for a fit session.
Yeah.
Right. So we like our sort of customers to have a couple of practice sessions at least in the lead up to coming in. So we don't like you to have a long layoff prior to coming in. And we coming in to hit balls. Here's the first time you've hit balls in a month or 2 months.
So you need to have gone to the range a couple times the week prior, like not 100 times or anything, but don't come in rusty.
Don't come in rusty, especially if it's in the spring and there's been a long layoff. Make sure you get out to the range, or even better, take a lesson, have a tune-up lesson with your coach.
Yeah.
Make sure your mechanics are in place, make sure there's nothing going on. The worst thing that we can have is when a customer comes in and goes, that's not what I normally do. And we go, well, who are we fitting in? Who our customer, is normally or who they are on the day. We have to kind of fit what's in front of us.
And I've been here many times when you've said to someone, listen, you're not having a great day today. Why don't you come
today's
back another day?
Yeah.
And then we've had this conversation. We hope that's the way the whole industry will go.
Yeah.
But if you're in a fitting and you know your pattern is way off, would you almost say, like, I'm just going to book another fitting? It's probably best not to do.
You absolutely have to. If you can't really trust what you're seeing, we're not then in a position to be able to recommend how you spend your money.
It would become a waste almost because you're fixing something that isn't your pattern. So I would almost transition that. It's a perfect time to transition it to sort of the part where anxiety and sort of performance expectations come in.
Right.
So people are coming into fittings, and I was the same way the first time I came to see you. I felt like I need to hit the best shots I've ever hit in my life. I need to impress these guys. I need to make sure I get the best equipment for the best I can play.
Yeah.
Would you say it's more important to just be consistent to how you normally are versus trying to just outperform yourself? Like, people are thinking, I need to be so good, I'm embarrassed otherwise.
That's absolutely, right? Definitely. That's just, we want to see the truest reflection of yourself when we see you guys when you come in. So that gives us the best opportunity to make an improvement to that player. So I think that's a really good point. Doing some little analysis of your game prior to coming in. So understanding your miss patterns is an important part. So sometimes we'll come in and we'll see some specific delivery characteristics from our customers, and our customers will kind of go, yeah, that's not me. I'm hitting a bit of a fade, but I normally draw it, and we'll see the club path is 6-7 degrees out to in. We go,
something's missing there.
It's hard to draw it from that position. We would really need a 10-degree shift in club path in order to kind of see a draw scenario here. 10 degrees is maybe a little bit more than we're likely to see as a rusty sort of tendency if you're just a little rusty and out of practice. So understand whether, if you hit a draw, is it a draw that starts right at the target and works back, or is it a bit of a pull draw? Right. Those are very different and come from very different swing characteristics. So understanding what you've got going on.
You've even said strike-induced draw.
Absolutely.
Someone hits off the toe.
Yeah. Understand whether your draw comes from a toe strike rather than a centered strike and the face is just close to the path, which is what we would consider a true draw.
Right.
That would be a push draw that starts right and works back. So those are important.
Yeah, so it would almost be beneficial to make some mental or physical paper notes saying, this is my last couple rounds of golf. I missed, most of my tee shots right. Most of them were a little bit of a fade, and I pulled a lot of my irons. And then at least you have concrete data to come to you and say, Ian, this is what happens to me on the course.
Exactly.
I think that's pretty important.
For sure.
Yeah.
So again, more preparation for coming in. Go to a golf store. Go to a demo day. Have a little browse around your local pro shop. See what catches your eye. The aesthetics of the golf club are more than just, they're important. They're not everything, but if you walk in there and you go, well, there's no way I'm hitting any of those big chunky heads.
Right.
Tell your fitter that before you go in.
I know.
Get an idea as to what you like the look of, and you can kind of share those preferences with your fitter, and then that way you guys can work off of some of your preferences, and then obviously the performance comes on the other side, mesh together, normally gets the right combo.
And we chatted about it briefly, testing a bunch of players' irons.
Yep.
We were saying, what are there, 10, 15 at least big brands that offer a similar category iron.
That's right.
You can't test them all in fitting. So if you, as you say, go to the store and say, I like these 4, I think those are the ones I want to try, then you can tell your fitter, listen, this is my short list. If there's something outside that you really think I'll like, let's try it. But otherwise, you've narrowed it down and you've prevented yourself from making 200-300 swings to test all those clubs.
I think that's such a good point. And I think doing that will help you kind of with the mindset is you're not coming to a demo day.
No.
You're not coming with the mindset of I'm going to hit every shaft at TXG, and if I don't get my way from one side of the wall to the other, I'm going to be disappointed.
I know, that's true.
Some people do it.
I know.
Some people come in here and go, well, I've not tried that shaft. Well, you've not tried it because we don't think it's the right one for you. There's a reason. Our process of elimination will take this 352 shafts and narrow it down to 5 or 6 that you're going to try.
That's very true.
That's the nature of it. Weight, flex, bend profile, price. All those sorts of things will kind of make a shaft or a head, specific to you or not.
So that's a good point generally, just to say, don't go in thinking and wanting to try too much. If anything, it's better to try less and get it dialed in.
Yeah, have some preferences in mind, but don't make them too specific. Generally speaking, I like this shape ahead.
Right.
I'm looking for these types of performance characteristics from the club, etc., etc.
It's a communication thing, which you're going to touch on further. You've got to talk to the fitter as much as you can.
Definitely.
Don't feel bad about asking a million questions. I mean, the session is for you to get the very best clubs you can find.
So with that in mind, the communication is such a good point. So we always say to our customers, make sure you don't leave today with any questions that you had coming in. Don't leave those questions unasked.
Right.
Make sure you get them out. There's not a bad question. Don't ever feel like there's a time when a question isn't appropriate to ask. There's no such thing as a bad question in here. We're happy to answer all of them. That's super important. But what I'll also say is, when you come into somewhere like TXG, and hopefully other club fitting establishments are the same, if there's a question that you did forget to ask, you've got our email. You know where to find us if there's a follow-up question that you've got that will make you more comfortable. Feel free to do that as well. It's we build our team around being friendly and sort of responsive to your questions and that sort of thing. So make sure you do that as well. If there is a question you leave with that you don't have sort of answered.
It takes the pressure off feeling like you got to get them all in while you're in the building, right?
Exactly. You leave, you're on the drive home, you go, geez, I wish I'd asked that. Just wait till you get home, send an email, follow-up email, and just go, I wish I'd asked this.
I think it's part of the process that people are, I guess makes people anxious is it gets to the end of the fitting.
Yeah.
And the fitter's going to say, okay, this is what I recommend. Are you going to buy it?
Yeah.
Like that's the part where I think people go, well, I'm not sure.
Right.
And maybe they feel they're going to be pressured into it kind of thing.
Right.
So the best thing to do is, you paid for your fitting. You paid to get the information.
Sure.
You didn't necessarily pay that you had to buy clubs.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with taking that recommendation. You guys do it, your prescription.
Yep.
You send them home. They think about it. Maybe call you and say, Ian, I've been thinking about this. Can we tweak
Happens
this?
all the time.
That's the way you should have it. Be a more of a fluid, I guess, conversation.
We'll be very conscious of how our customers are kind of feeling at the end of it, whether they're, some of them are just like, listen, that was great, I love it, let's go.
have it.
I can't wait to get it in my hands, I'm ready to make a purchase. Other people will be a little more on the fence and kind of go, okay, I kind of need to digest this, send me my login details. To the Foresight data and let me kind of sit and have a look at it. That's fine as well.
Of course.
So whichever scenario suits you best, ultimately, you guys are going to drive the narrative in that front.
Absolutely.
Pre-fitting anxiety.
Yes.
I think that's a really interesting one that we always hear. People coming in and especially customers who have seen the YouTube stuff. They go, "Wow, this is where it's filmed," and I'm kind of a little nervous here that GC Quad is going to kind of expose my swing flaws.
Yeah.
It's not going to expose them. It's just going to measure them.
It's going to help you understand them.
Yeah, that's it. It's going to give us a bigger picture, a more detailed picture of who you are as a golfer.
Yep.
To the point where within 3 shots, if that player is 1 degree down his angle of attack, he's 5 degrees into out, and he's hitting draws. Already, I know the narrative of what he's dealing with. I know that that type of golfer loves when the ball's just perched up in a little bit of a cushy lie. They don't really like bare lies because they're a little bit too shallow.
Right.
All those we're already painting that picture of who that golfer is within the first few shots. So don't worry about trying to impress us or if you're not performing. We done a fit today with one of our staff members, Sam. Sam halfway through it was in a panic that he was letting someone down in the whole process. I said, Sammy, this is what it's all about.
Yeah.
We're not going to get, every club's not going to be the best for you. So, once we start to eliminate, the variables, the heads that work, the ones that don't, ones that have, the right characteristics for you, you'll see it come together. But we have to go through that process together in order to eliminate certain characteristics and variables.
It's so easy to get into that mindset where you feel like you're failing almost.
Well, that's it.
It's just a habit. It's a culture of golf where people feel like you're being judged based on your golf performance.
Right.
We're not really that interested in how good you are at golf. I mean, you're just trying to help someone play better. It's not a measurement of your character by any means, but people kind of put so much weight on it. It's you have to make a conscious effort to say, listen, I'm here for a recreational purpose. I'm here to get some new golf clubs. If I hit them well, great. If I don't, it's not a big deal. This person's trying to help me get better.
That's it. So we touched on something earlier on that I know you kind of were interested in. It was with Sam, he was struggling as a right-handed golfer. He was leaking it a little bit to the right, and I mentioned to you the first thing I will do is make the biggest impact on that push slice that Sammy had, and I'll turn that into a bit of a hook if I can, because I'll make the biggest impact that I possibly can on that ball flight, and then I'll adjust it back. I'm not going to incrementally try and change it a little bit. At a time that will involve going through too many options. I'll make the biggest impact I can, then I'll nudge it back. So that actually means potentially making the ball flight worse before you make it better.
And worse, but in a different way, though.
Different way, yeah.
I think that would relax you a little bit. If you're always slicing, you all of a sudden hit a hook. It's not a good shot, but at least you go, oh wow, that's different. Like something's happening now, and it opens your mind a bit.
Especially if it's communicated from the fitter, that's what you're trying to do.
Trying to get you to hook the ball.
We're trying to influence that golf club to change your ball flight dramatically. We have done that. Now we're going to, edge it back. We know what the extreme of the opposite of what you've got right now.
Right.
Then we'll nudge it back a little bit. I think that's really
I think it's
important.
great. That's not something I'd heard you talk about before, but it's cool.
Bit different. And you know, in any fit environment, we're going to use our full time with you to get out all you know, all the details that we can possibly, you know, try and make it as ideal as we possibly can. So the reality is, half an hour in, you might not be better yet.
It's true.
But we're eliminating some of those variables that towards the back end of the session we can start to, okay, here's what we've learned. This is what we think is the recipe for success. We're going to put that together. Then the customer starts to see the fit come together, and that's, I think, what we saw with Sam.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
It's a good little transition into probably what your last recommendation is.
On
where to see a fitting experience.
Exactly.
You're already in the right place.
Yep.
I think it would be really helpful if you haven't seen.
Yep.
How many high handicap videos have we done now? At least 5 or 6.
Yeah, we've had some higher handicap stuff.
So watching something like that, I think, and you've had great feedback from people saying, I watched that video, it really put me at ease because I saw someone that reminded me of myself, and I thought, okay, that guy went in for a fitting, had a great experience, improved, left happy.
Yep.
I think if you just watch some of the high handicap videos that we've done, it'd be a great experience just to sort of take your mind in a different direction where you say, it's not about being a minus, you know, or +2 handicap. That's not the person that most fittings are for. You're fitting, you know, most of the time you're fitting people over a 20 handicap, I would imagine.
I mean, in that range, so 12 to 20, I would say is where most people are
the majority.
falling into that. Yeah, that's it. And those are the people who can see the most dramatic improvement. Nothing. I mean, we regularly get our customers telling us after the fits they've dropped their handicap 3, 4, 5 shots.
It's amazing.
That's impactful for us because we're looking at the averages, and the average handicap reduction in golf is not going down.
No, it's not.
The reality is the reason it's not going down is because not enough people are doing this stuff. Not enough people are getting their clubs fit.
No.
But we're not saying club fitting is the holy grail answer. It's one part of holistic improvement.
Yeah.
So if you're getting lessons, you're getting club fitting, you know, we want to be there. I had a great conversation with my business mentor the other day about TXG evolving into more of a golf performance coaching platform.
Right.
So, you know, we'll take care of your equipment, but we'll also help you with, how to practice. You know, we'll also help you with how you can get better, the recipe for getting better. If you're not getting better, it means you're not doing the right things.
Exactly.
You need to change something.
Yep.
So we're honestly, truthfully, most influenced by you guys improving your golf.
Absolutely.
We want you to improve your handicap because that will help you improve the game more, enjoy the game more, and that's ultimately what we're in it for.
Yeah. I think you just have to go into the fitting, give the fitter the benefit of the doubt.
Yep.
I mean, there aren't a million of you out there doing fittings, let's be honest.
Right.
But people are afraid that the fitter has, you know, the wrong intentions, or they're not attentive to you, or they just want to sell you clubs.
Yeah.
But whether or not that's the case, I think if you go in with the right attitude, saying, you know, I'm here to learn about my golf swing, I'm here to learn how I might improve, you're still going to be able to get something very valuable out of the session.
Definitely. Yeah, I think that's very important. I guess one last thing is just with regards to your budget.
That's a good one.
You know, one last kind of little side note is when you come into a fit, have a specific, you know, if you are looking to buy clubs, or, you know, have a budget in mind for what you're looking to achieve. That will help steer the fitter towards where you're going to find the best value.
Absolutely.
I think that's always, you know, the key is the last thing we want to do is take you down a path, and, you know, the custom world, the shafts can get a little exotic in price at times, you know, but if we feel that's where the right path is, obviously we do that. But if we're guided towards, listen, I don't have an extensive budget to put towards this, can we keep it to X dollars? No problem.
Yeah.
Okay, so that already it's already part of our process of elimination anyway. But that tells us where we can go with it, and how we, you know, maybe it's. I've had guys come in and go, listen, I've got $900 to spend. I need the best set of irons possible. Well, that takes customizing them. You know, of us buying or of us selling the head and the shaft and the grip as we do when we build in component form.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean we can't get you the best, you know, club with the right shaft and, you know, loft and lie and length and weight and grip. And then obviously, you know, we then
it's a stock
sell
offering.
that as a stock offering from the manufacturer.
Still a custom stock offering.
It's still the right kind of specifications. You know, it just might not have some of the build features such as frequency matching, such as weight sorting, all that sort of stuff. So, you know, your budget is very important to us to lead you in the right direction.
Yeah, I think if you don't tell the fitter at the beginning and you get to the end of the fit, it's almost, you kind of have wasted a bunch of time, because you might get a really good fit for something you have no intention of buying. You have no intention of buying this driver.
And it's tough as a fitter, you know, just to see that person deflated at the end, having had such a good experience, because, a shaft cost $399 and they didn't really want to get above $200.
Right.
That's what they had, and they had intended to spend, and they weren't really happy or comfortable spending more than that. So there's nothing worse than getting to the end of it and you're disappointed. We want you to have enjoyed it, feel really kind of lifted by the whole process, because ultimately you're going to improve.
Yeah. Communication, for me, that's the big takeaway.
Right.
Talk as much as you can and ask as many questions as you can.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. That was great.
Hopefully this was important and kind of ticks a lot of boxes. What we'll probably do is we've tried to put together a little sort of list of 10.
We're going to publish it in the description.
Perfect. So 10 things that you guys can take away. So rather than having to watch it again, go, what was that one again?
Yeah, scroll down.
So yeah, we'll kind of give it in text form so you guys can see it. But we may chop up this video a little bit. Might not be the worst thing to go, to give some specifics as to how someone can get the most out the fit session. But
we can go more into detail further, if you like. Exactly. Absolutely.
Cool. Excellent, guys. Hope this was of good value. Please, if we've missed anything that you want us to touch on, leave it in the comments below. If any of your friends by any means are curious about what a fit is, share this video with them. Send it on if you think there's somebody who's never had a fit and would see massive value with it. Share the video with them. Yeah, pass it on. I think as I said, whether it's us they see or someone else, just being armed with more knowledge is going to help you enjoy the experience a lot more.
100%.
Good. Excellent. Thanks, guys, for watching. We'll see you again soon.